Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. Our next guest is working to help women learn to say no, let go of guilt, and reject misconceptions that shape our narratives. Here to share tips on how we can do this in the workplace and at home, we welcome leadership advocate and host of the Get Real, Get Results podcast, Chantell Preston. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me today.
You've had a big and busy career, and you're also a mother, so I'm curious your advice on specifically women struggling with that guilt and like they're juggling so much all the time.
Well, first of all, I'll tell people we're all struggling. I mean, obviously our schedules have gotten more packed. Our kids are more overscheduled. So we're all struggling. So I tell a lot of folks, just give yourself some self-compassion. Again, we're so programmed to be perfect at everything and be everything to everyone. And frankly, the reality is
No is a full sentence. I mean, I love talking about the boundaries, and but it can be so hard to put into practice, right?
It is, and I struggle with it even today. But I will tell you, there's some strategies that I started using that really helped me. Sometimes I'm kind of shiny penny. Somebody asked me to do something, and at that time, it sounds like a great idea, and I say yes. Then I get home and I go, why did I agree to do that? I don't have the time nor the resources to do it. So I've really stopped to say, when people ask me things, stop and say, does this really help me accomplish my own goals? And if not, then I'll say no. And I also had to reframe it to myself so I don't feel guilty at the end of the day of saying my saying no is an opportunity for someone else.
There you go. And you've got to balance everything as best you can, right? We're never going to achieve that perfect balance, but being able to have a healthy home life, it's going to make you show up better at work as well.
Absolutely. And, balance, I don't even think that balance exists. I call it integration. How do we integrate work life and our personal life? I will tell you, I'm a better leader because I am a parent. And sometimes I think we forget that and we think that we have to run our families different than we do our businesses. But I've implemented a lot of things in my family life that I do in business, and it's really helped create a better environment and save my sanity, frankly.
Well, it makes a lot of sense, right? Our kids need some structure to thrive as well. And if you're kind of more organized, right, you're running a tight ship, things are going to go a little bit better.
Absolutely. And, I get together with my family on Sundays and say, let's talk about the week. This is another strategy I use because what I don't want to happen is your crisis becomes my crisis. So they need to understand what my expectations are for the week and me understanding theirs. So again, just some little strategies that I've used to try to make everything a little bit easier for everyone.
I love that. What about women who are wanting to move into more of a leadership role, or maybe they are too scared to? Are there certain mindset shifts that we have to kind of talk ourselves into sometimes?
Sure. I think the biggest one is jump before you're ready. I think with women, we want everything to be perfect, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Again, you use your innate personality and traits and qualities like compassion, empathy, all of those things that we're so good at. Let's utilize those in leadership and understand that's a power, not a negative.
And what about if you feel like you're in a situation where it's just not serving you, you're not cracking the code? It can feel so disappointing to walk away from something, but maybe sometimes that's the best solution.
Absolutely. And I think that we went from I failed at something to I'm a failure. And if we can keep that mindset that when you fail, it's not a failure, it's simply something that you can learn from and better yourself, use it as a lesson. And sometimes the best things that end up in life are the things that we say no to or the things that we leave.
It's
because
true.
it wasn't the right.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
never know what's going to come next. Well, and what about being a busy working mom and juggling all these things? I would imagine that you're thoughtful about what the messages that you're sending to your own kids with the choices that you're making.
Absolutely. And, we all want to be good role models for our kids. I want to make sure my kids understand that I love to work. I love having, a passion and a purpose in life. And I want them to understand that just because I spend time in my career doesn't mean that I'm putting them second. And that's why I really try to be intentional with my time with them, where it's quality time, not necessarily quantity time.
Well, then what about if you are kind of in a tough spot seeking out things like a mentorship and other resources? Because there are so many people out there who are willing to help if you just ask.
Absolutely. And I think that's the biggest misnomer. People think, oh, people don't want to help. They really do. And being a mentor is not only beneficial for the mentee, but also the mentor as well. And so, again, just look at the folks around you and ask for help. I think we try to say we can do it all because that's what we're used to doing as women with our families, with our careers. But it's really important to understand that asking for help is not a negative.
It's absolutely not, and we're going to get the job done the best way that we can, no matter what the circumstances. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today. It was great chatting with you.
Thank you so much, Hannah.
Of course, we'll have more information about Chantell and her podcast on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.